Clawdbot is taking the world by storm, and for good reason. It's a 24-hour assistant that can literally do tasks for you and your business literally while you sleep. But with great power comes great responsibility, and you absolutely do not want to set this thing up on your local machine. LLMs don't always do the things we want, and if you give this thing the keys to your house, there's a good chance you're going to end up with a burnt down house. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set this thing up on a remote computer step by step. As a quick note, Clawdbot is made for developers, so the setup is a little bit technical. So I've included a document in the description below, which you can use to help follow along. Let's get into it. To host Clawdbot, we're going to use a service called DigitalOcean. And what they have are things called droplets, which is basically just a VPS, a virtual private server. And this is going to allow us to run Clawdbot and interact with him. So make an account for DigitalOcean, and then we're going to create a droplet. So right now I'm in DigitalOcean and I'm in the droplet section. And what we're going to do is click create a droplet. After that, you want to pick the server that is closest to you. Pick a machine, a default machine that we can use. I would recommend clicking on Marketplace. And from the Marketplace, we can search for Node.js. So Clawdbot is built with Node.js, so having a Node.js configured server already just gives us one less step to do. So once we've done that, we've selected Node.js over here, then we can head down and we just got to pick the server that we want. For Clawdbot, what I'd recommend is something with 2 gigabytes of RAM. So this $12 a month one could be fine. You probably could run it with something smaller. It might be a little bit slow, but just to be safe, you can use this one. After that, it's going to ask us the authentication method. So I heavily recommend you use SSH key. I'm going to show you how to set it up now. Click on new SSH key. In here, we need to paste our public SSH key. For DigitalOcean, they've actually given us instructions here on how to set it up. You can set it up on Linux, Mac, or Windows. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy this and we're going to move to our terminal to set it up. Right now we're in our terminal, and what I'm going to do is just paste that instruction in that I just created, hit enter, and now it's going to ask us where we want to enter the file name. So we're just going to hit enter for that. That's going to set it up in the default area. For this, you can just hit enter. We don't need one. And then what we've done now is we've created our SSH keys. Afterwards, we need to go to the place where our SSH keys are saved. So we're going to hit cd.ssh and we're going to go here. And as you can see, we've got our SSH keys over here. So the one that we just created is the idrsa.pub. So that's this one over here. Type cat and then idrsa.pub and hit enter. So you're just going to select all of that, and then afterwards you're going to copy it, and then we're going to go back to DigitalOcean and we're going to paste it in here. Now we're just going to give it a name, so we're going to give it the name Bobby over here, and now we're going to add the SSH key. Now I'm going to make sure that Bobby is selected over here, and after that our login is done. Now we're going to give our host, our droplet, a name, and this one is also going to be Bobby over here. And after that, we can just create the droplet. So while that is booting up, what we can do to make logging into our remote computer a lot easier is we can copy the IP address of Bobby over here, and we can add him to our SSH configuration. We're in our SSH folder over here, and we're going to type nano and then config. So in this screen, we're just setting the configuration for how we want to log into Bobby. This helps us from not having to copy and paste the IP address every single time. So we're going to type host Bobby, and then afterwards we're going to type host name, and then we're going to paste the IP address of Bobby over here. And for this, we're going to add the user as root. And actually over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Bobby root, just so we know that we're logging into the root of our server. After that, we're going to hit Control X, and then we're going to click Y and then enter, and that's going to save the configuration. Once we've done that, now what we can do is we can log into our remote computer. So to do that, we're going to type SSH and then Bobby and then root, like that. Now for this step, we want to just say yes, hit enter, and now we're in our computer at root at Bobby. Now there's a few safety precautions we want to do here. The first thing is that we don't want to install Clawdbot on the root. we want to actually make a user for Clawdbot so that he doesn't have root privileges, and if he gets hacked, it's not going to cause tremendous damage. So the first thing we are going to do is we're going to add a user. So we're going to type add user, and now we're going to call this user Bobby. So just type whatever password you want in here. It's not going to show you what the password is, so it's very important to look at the keys that you're writing. And then after that, for these, you can just hit enter, 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 and now we've made that user. The next thing we want to do is give sudo abilities to our user. So to do that, we're going to type user mod, and we'll go -G, and then we're going to go sudo, and then Bobby, like that. The next thing we want to do is be able to log in as Bobby on our remote server. So to do that, we're going to paste these instructions in here. Now, if your assistant is not named Bobby, then you're going to need to change these values, but I'm going to provide a link in the document below, which you can use in order to change it. So after that, we're going to hit enter. Now we're going to exit our remote server. So now that we're back on our home computer, what we can do is open up our config again. And now what we're going to do is just create a new config. And this one's going to be host, and we're going to call it Bobby. And it's going to be this same IP address as we had before, which is this one over here. But this time we're going to make the user Bobby over here. And we're going to save that by pressing Control X, Y, and then enter. If we do SSH Bobby, now we are logged into our server as Bobby the user. So now we can finally install Moltbot. So in order to do that, we're going to go down here and we're going to copy this command. And then we're going to go back to our terminal and we're going to paste it in here. So this might take a while, something between 2 to 5 minutes. So all you got to do is just wait. So now we've got the installer coming up. The first thing is that I understand that it's powerful and inherently risky. So we're going to click yes, YOLO. And for this, we're going to do quick start. And now we've got to pick our model/auth provider. So for this one, I recommend using Open Code Zen. I've been using it a lot, and it allows you to switch in between models. So if you don't want to just use the most powerful one like Opus 4.5, because it's going to blow up your tokens, and you want to use something a little bit smaller, then it's a really good option. So let's set that up now. So now we've gone to opencode.ai, and in here we want to make an account and we want to go to Zen. So once we're in Zen, the next thing we want to do is click on API keys, click on create API key. So we've got the name Bobby over here. We're going to click create, and now we can just click on the API key to copy it. We can go back to our terminal. We're going to click on Open Code Zen. And now we're going to hit enter, and we're going to paste our Zen API key in over here. After that, we're going to hit enter. And as you can see, we can pick whatever model we want to use. So I'm going to pick Gemini 3 Pro. I'm going to hit enter. And now it's asking us to configure the way that we want to talk to our Moltbot. The quickest and easiest one is definitely Telegram. So we're going to set that one up. So let's hit enter on Telegram. And what we need to do now is go to Telegram and we need to create a new bot. So in Telegram, we need to find someone called the bot father. And once we've done that, we can hit start. And in here, we want to click on create a new bot. In here, we're going to call him Bobby. And now we need to make a username for our bot. So we're going to go Bobby and maybe some random numbers over here, and then we can hit bot. And now you can see he's created this bot and we've got this token over here. So let's copy the token over, go back to our terminal, paste the token in here, hit enter. Afterwards, it's asking us to configure the skills. We're going to do this a little bit later. So we're going to hit no, and we're going to hit space for this to skip for now, hit enter. Now it's installing the gateway service. So now we can bring Bobby to life if we like, and we can just click hatch in TUI. And now Bobby is waking up. He doesn't know he's Bobby yet, but we're going to tell him. So now he's asking who we are and who he is. So I'm going to say, hey, I'm Dan. I'm a business owner and would love your help in working on the business with me. Your name is Bobby, and you are the perfect teammate for me to grow my business. And we're going to hit enter. Okay, so after we've hatched him, we can close this. Now we're in Bobby's server. If you want to know a little bit about how he works, so this is Bobby's identity. So if we look at the identity file over here, we can see that he knows that his name is Bobby. He's the perfect teammate. He's reliable, growth-oriented, proactive, and sharp. We can look at the soul. So in the soul, he's becoming someone. He's genuinely helpful. He's got all these different instructions to help him identify who he is and what he does. And then if we look at the user, we can see that he knows that we are Dan and that we're a business owner looking to grow and wants a true teammate. Okay, so let's go back to Telegram now. And in Telegram, we're going to open up our bot over here. We're going to hit start. And as you can see, we've got Clawdbot access not configured. So we need to add this pairing code. To do that, we need to type Clawdbot pairing approve Telegram and then this code. So let's copy the code. So we've got Clawdbot pairing approve Telegram, and now we're going to paste in the code over here. Hit enter. Okay, so in order to get the node commands to work, we need to copy this. So export path, home Bobby. We're going to get this, and now we're just going to paste that in over here. And now we're going to check if Clawdbot works. Yeah, so now it's working. All right, cool. So now we're going to do our pairing. So we're going to do Clawdbot pairing approve Telegram and our code. Okay, so now he's been approved. So we should be able to message him on Telegram and say, Bobby, are you there? It's Dan. Okay, so he's just messaged us from Telegram, so now we can communicate with Bobby through Telegram. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up some web browsing abilities. So to set up the web browsing, we're going to do Clawdbot, and we're going to go to configure, and we're just going to hit enter for this. We're going to go to web tools, click on web tools, and we're going to enable web search. And now here we need to paste in the Brave API key. So if you don't have an account with Brave, then we need to go make one. Okay, so in Brave, we're in API dashboard.search.brave.com, and we need to create a API key for Bobby. So we're going to click add API key. We're going to call it Bobby API. We're going to hit add. And now we're going to copy that over and go back here, paste it in, hit enter, enable web fetch, yes. And now after that, we're just going to hit continue. So to test the web search, we're going to ask Bobby to do something for us. So we're going to say, hey, Bobby, can you look up the latest developments in Moltbot online? Tell us what's happening. So now is this telling us the name change, the viral growth, the recent updates, and then he's given us action items. So if we want to stay on the bleeding edge, then we can install that. So if we want to install skills, what we can do now is go Clawdbot and then configure. We just go through these settings again, and now we have the skills over here. Configure skills now. We can just use npm for that. So one thing I would say with this section, it's very exciting that you can connect Clawdbot to all these different things. Like for example, the Google Workspace or your 1Password, and there's a lot of different configurations you can do, but you really need to be careful with this. I would not allow Clawdbot to have the keys to 1Password because this is very new technology, and if you get hacked and it has all your credentials on this machine, then it'll be a huge disaster for you. So you need to be really careful when you're using these different tools and what credentials you're giving your Clawdbot. There's about 300 ways that someone can break into this system, so you need to try and minimize the blast radius. I would recommend, if you are using a lot of these different tools, is to create completely different accounts for your Clawdbot instance. So for example, if it was 1Password, then he should have his own account in 1Password with his own passwords that don't affect other things in your business or your personal life. The same with Google. I would make a completely new account for him on Google because otherwise it can cause a lot of damage. So for now, I'm going to add Nano Banana Pro, and he's going to install that. Once you've installed a skill, do Clawdbot Gateway Restart, and that should allow you to use the skill. Okay, so I've got a Nano Banana Pro to work, and yeah, Bobby here has made me he's made me a very cool thumbnail, which shows a lobster and installing Clawdbot. So the last thing, if you want to be able to view the control panel for your Clawdbot, then you've got to put in this command over here. So obviously change the name for your agent's name, hit enter. And now our local host is going to point to the local host on the server. After that, we need to do Clawdbot dashboard, hit enter. And now over here, we've got this address over here. So we need this token here because this is kind of like the security password token. If we click that, and now we've got access to our dashboard through a tunnel on our local computer. So here we can see the skills he has, we can chat with him, and we can pretty much get oversight into what he's doing. That's all for this tutorial. There's going to be a link in the description which can help you set it up if you had a little bit of trouble, or you can contact me with the link below. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Don't give him too much access. Just be careful with what you're providing Clawdbot. It's a little bit like the Wild Wild West right now. But besides that, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.